Sometimes I see something truly horrible and I just think to myself, I can make that worse. Okay, so earlier this year, I saw this rabbit in a hotel foyer in Japan. It just implanted itself into my brain and I was like, I need to do something with this. And then a few weeks ago, I saw this backpack on Wisdom K's Instagram feed. Now GIF. I need to make an anthropomorphic rabbit with human hands. That is also a backpack. It's the worst thing I can think of. I just need some low stakes craft time. And I know that the last time I said that, I ended up building a miniature fantasy house lamp for 16 days straight, but I'm not gonna let the perfectionism get to me this time. Because the thing is, we're aiming for bad. And so if I fail, it's gonna be bad. And if I succeed, it's gonna be bad. I think I have hacked arts and crafts. You need to aim for garbage. You're welcome. Oh, it's gonna be so fun. I'm so excited. Here is our concept art. It's so bad. It's so bad. Oh, I'm gonna make myself cry because it's just the worst. And we're gonna make it. Calm down. I'm not even looking at the picture right now, I'm just remembering it. I'm thinking that we're gonna do a zipper that sits against the back. I have no idea how to put a curved zipper in, by the way. That occurred to me this morning. The backpack, by the way, is made by Leon Emmanuel Blanc. They make very expensive, weird stuff. The backpack, I've seen prices ranging from $6,000 to $9,000, so. Anyway, the backpack made by Leon Emmanuel Kant. No, not Kant, that's a philosopher. I took their image and then I drew my design over the top of it. Look how sad he is. Oh my God, it's so stupid.
At this stage, I didn't know who had made the rabbit, but I emailed the hotel and they got back to me really quickly with the details.
They replied. Oh, she does have more stuff. One of the rabbits is standing. One of them's got 2 heads. I love her.
He was made by the Japanese artist Yoshi Kuroda, and she calls her creations Moki Moki Mono, which is a combination of the Japanese words for fairy and beast.
Let's talk about materials.
Don't you have this set?
Yeah.
Aren't these so fleshy? Linen pillowcases, the closest to my skin tone bed sheet, you're right? And the closest to my skin tone bed sheet we could find.
I took a closer look at the rabbit when I got home and I realized that these are definitely knit fabrics. Woven fabrics would not be able to achieve such soft shapes. So I headed out to another op shop, a proper old school one this time. So I was able to pick up a bunch of t-shirts for $1 each.
So first of all, I love this color palette. I think it's going to be, how do you do a chef's kiss? Mwah. Very upsetting. It just occurred to me that I don't know how to make 3-dimensional patterns for things like rabbits. How does one? How are we gonna do this?
Also, if you thought that focus issue was annoying, this is also the point where I posed for the thumbnail. Of course, it focused perfectly when Alf showed up.
We are using the tape method where you wrap Glad wrap around your body part and then wrap masking tape around that in order to make our pattern. And I just had the biggest brainwave. And let's get to making a pattern. This is gonna be awkward. Okay, oh no. Oh my God, that looks really weird. What are you up to today? Okay, good, good. This is harder than I thought it would be. Shocking. I look like the Winter Soldier, right? Oh wow, actually this is gonna start getting really difficult to take the tape off once my hand is taped. But if I tape my arm, I won't be able to move it. So, what's going on with you? How's your week going? I hope you're doing something fun. Cash in some happy tokens like me. See, this is what's so good about this project. Even if this doesn't work, this has been fun. Hi, Thomas.
Hello. Hello.
It's me time. How's your day going? It didn't occur to me that I wouldn't be able to use this hand while I am doing this.
So I'll leave you to it.
I'm having a great time. So what do we think? Do we just start the video with this with no context? What a good time. What a good time this project is. We're at the point where I need to stand up again. Let's go. Give me a hug. No, that's not fair. I need to pee really bad. Okay, now it is time to draw the pattern on this, number the pieces, because we forgot to do that the last time I did a pattern, and mark some notches on it. How do I just started drawing lines, and I remember this is a pattern and it needs to kind of follow the curves so that this actually helps make a 3-dimensional shape. This isn't awkward at all. There with your thumb. 1. How do you draw a 4? Which way does... Is that backwards? Oh, it looks correct to you, which means it is backwards. I don't know what I'm doing. 9?
Yeah, in case you were wondering, I absolutely made this more complicated than it needed to be.
Man, I hope I don't cut my shirt. I cut a hole in my top. Okay. Get out of this. I cut my shirt again. We have our pieces. I'm finally free. I'm gonna go have some lunch, and then we are going on a road trip to go pick up some supplies. I already love it.
So I needed stuffing for the rabbit, but I hate polyester because of that whole it exists forever thing. So I ordered pure wool wadding from a Victorian farm called Wool Valley, which actually worked out cheaper. Because I didn't have time to wait for shipping, we went on a little road trip to Wood End. This pole would get out of the way, I could show you that pretty hill. Never mind. Wait. There's the prettiest one of all. It's our exit. We've made it.
How cute is it that all the letterboxes are just at the end of the street?
Oh yeah, this is the little tiny house here.
Right? This little house with the blue door? This is cute. I couldn't visualize what 5 meters was.
Oh gosh.
Is this gonna fit in your car? Oh my god, it's so big! All right, backseat it is. Where are we gonna store this? All right, let's go home, it's freezing.
Creepy.
View of the mountain's really nice here. Look at that. Not me, look at that.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Thomas. Thanks. Welcome to day 2. I think what we need to do is get to cutting these out into manageable pieces. I want these to make more sense to me. Even though they're numbered, how does that help me? If I had cut out a shape of the animal, right, out of like a firm foam, and then I was stretching fabric over it, that I could handle. But making the shape from floppy fabric and then filling that in with stuffing is breaking my brain. Let's cut them out. I am already like completely bamboozled as to how these are gonna fit together.
I've learnt over the course of a few projects that I tend to start with the part that I'm most excited about, which is inevitably the most prominent part. But I tend to improve my process as I figure out what I'm doing, and I regret starting there. So as much as I wanted to start with the hand, I began with the arm.
I feel like I have a lot of pattern pieces, and I've gone to all this effort to make these weird shapes, and when I bring it all together, I feel like it's just gonna be a noodle blob. I'm thinking maybe I cut up some wool, make an arm shape, and then sew this around it. Smells like sheep. Cool. So it's quite thick, but very puffy, so it'll like smush down quite a lot. I'm gonna cut a length, the approximate length of the arm, and then kind of like roll it up. Oh, but you know what I'll do? To save on some of that wool, I might also ball up a little bit of fabric in the middle, and that will give it a good weight too. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Now we're cooking with brains. Okay. All right, so we wrap that up, and that's our little noodle arm. Hell yeah. All right, so brain time. Oh, that's too zoomed in. I'm gonna use this edge of the sheet where it's kind of like doubled up, and I'm gonna start rolling this all up tight to be our noodle bone kind of structure to go inside the floof. Also, what is this? Name. Ha ha ha. Ha ha! This might be easier if I like iron it. We're in uncharted territory for construction techniques with this.
This worked surprisingly well and made a pretty sturdy bone-like structure, which to be honest, I'm just gonna call it a bone from here on in. And stitching on the fold made a pretty solid elbow.
Okay, it seems to be working, look at that. Aha! Yes.
I was already happy with the wool batting purchase, but doing it this way, I am so glad I didn't buy polyfill because that wouldn't have worked.
I don't know, I got a good feeling about this. I had a good feeling about this project, look at that. Look at that little forearm. I'm glad we started with the arm because I would not have thought to do the bone kind of structure at the hand point. We might not even need the pattern.
We don't.
Oh my God, we probably don't need the pattern because we can just cut pieces of fabric and then just stitch them on. Oh, that's gonna be so fun.
I shared a photo of the arm on my Instagram and I got 2 votes for giant tampon, and I will take suggestions now for the rest of what that project would be.
I could stay here for the entire day. The But this project is way too fun. Look at his little bone. Upper arm, bicep time. I know that this is forearm, three arm, back arm, upper arm. I think it's just upper. All right, let's go. I am sorry for the lighting, but it's too dark today. There's nothing I can do but put the overhead light on.
Good news! At some point during this project, it's not for a while, I eventually figured out that lamps are portable, and I fixed the lighting issues I've had in this room for the last 4 months.
Unfortunately, the best spot to get nice ambient shots of the rain is through a window, and I'm not walking out there. I don't have shoes on, so there's left to do. Kinda looks like my arm. That looks pretty spot on to me.
It's quite hard to see the technique here because my fingers are in the way, but basically I pinned the fabric into that bone part, I don't know what else to call it, folded the raw edges under, and then sandwiched the pieces together so that I was sewing through 4 layers of fabric.
We have a closed up wrist, and then I just close that up. Wow, this is the best. Do you need another walk? We're gonna go for a walk, and then I'm probably going to maybe chuck this on a time lapse and sew these bad boys because holy crap, this is working. Yeah, let's go for a walk.
Oh my gosh, Thomas pointed out that the fireplace is portable, so I moved it to my office. I know this is a super weird project, but seeing as you clicked on the video, I'm going to assume that you get it. It's hard to explain, but I got so much joy from this project before I even started it. Straight up the most fun I've had just thinking. The day before I started, I was literally laughing out loud to myself while unpacking the dishwasher. So even if this is a complete flop, I've already had plenty of fun with it.
I was trying to make it look like this was a fake arm, but the shoulder isn't figured out yet. We have an arm. Everyone, excuse me, are you not surprised? I was gonna say thrilled. I'm thrilled, but are you not surprised? Good progress today. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Also, this heater is my new favorite thing.
This is how I look at my phone. There's nothing wrong with this posture.
Not me wearing really over-the-top eye makeup to distract from the fact that I put glitter on my nose to try to cover up my very red pimples. So here we are, day 3, and today we are attempting the hand. Let's get to cutting. Oh no, this one doesn't have a number on it. I don't know where it goes. Oh, and this pattern piece has 2 numbers. This pattern piece has 3 numbers. That's what we're working with for the hands. Let's get to building a base for it. But also, seeing as we've done about 3 minutes of work, let's go have a piece of cake. I made a cake last night. It has occurred to me that possibly the pimples on my nose are not from me just like touching my nose, but might be from me having eaten cake every day for about 6 or 7 days. Just a theory.
I find it so interesting that I plowed ahead with cutting out the pattern pieces when I should have learnt from making the arm that I didn't need them.
Oh my god, why did I do it in that order?
Oh, there it is.
I haven't made the framework for the hand yet.
Oh, not quite.
And I cut up the pattern already. And now I have to try and match it to my actual hand rather than the 3-dimensional figure I had of it. Ugh. Well, let's get started on making the framework for it. So I'm just folding some fabric over a couple of times. So just measure out the length of my fingers. All right, so that is the start of our hand bones. Roll them up, except for this one. We're gonna sew them tight, see if we can't try and get some curves to it. Where's the pin I was using yesterday? Oh, there it is. Oh, that's so good. We have one teeny tiny phalange bend.
So yeah, pretty much just the exact same process as for the arm bone, just on a much tinier scale.
All right, we have cranked up the coziness. I mean, the sun just came out as I'm trying to show you that my lamps are on. Also, we have coffee. We have 5 fingies. Well, the bones of them at least. Where'd I leave my tiny scissors? Oh, they're lost forever. They're probably in the lounge room, and that's the whole other end of the house, so I'm not doing that. All right, what do we think? What do we think? We might have to like tighten this shape in a little bit at the bottom. Don't you worry, eventually it's gonna look like a hand. Let's get some fur on a pinky. That can't be the way I'm supposed to say it. Oh, the fingers are harder to do than I thought they'd be. Once again, I think it looks like I've made a tampon. Oh, now it's looking like a witchetty grub.
I realised that if you're not from Australia, then that reference isn't going to mean anything to you, but trust me, it looks exactly like a witchetty grub, which now that I think about it, I have never had a chance to sample.
I feel like someone's probably going to point out right now that needle felting would have been a good way to go about this. Absolutely, I 100% agree, but I don't know how to do that, and I didn't want to spend all the money to get yet another craft yet. I will try needle felting, and it will make much more sense for stuff like fingers, I think, but for now, we're doing this my way, okay? The stupid way. Creepy. Exciting. I'm gonna do the rest of these.
That's actually a lie. I'm gonna go get groceries. But through the power of editing, it'll look like I'm just working on these.
Yay! I know that my thumb isn't this big, but we're gonna smush it onto there. Isn't this exciting? Also, I don't know if you can tell from the lighting and my eyes being mostly shut, I'm pretty tired. Actually, I was about to say I'll see you tomorrow, but I really want to sew the fingers on. I'm gonna sew the fingers on and then I'll see you tomorrow.
I pinned all of the fingers in place and just really haphazardly sewed them in any way that would secure them. Also, I don't know if you do this, but I have a really bad habit of putting pins and needles in my mouth when I'm sewing, and the wool I'm sewing is really fluffy. Also, this project absolutely destroyed my fingers.
I got the same spot. I know I should use a thimble. Actually, now that I look at this, I think I got these two fingers switched. Yeah, I put the fingers on the wrong way. I'm so happy. What do you think of the hand? Do you like it? Oh, more pats! More pats! Good job! Say goodnight. Our power is out. It's a planned outage, but Thomas and I both forgot, and so we are ill prepared. We have no heating. It's very cold today. I can't use my fireplace. So basically, we can hang out for as long as my camera batteries and the SD card last. I've pinned in place some little sections of skin, so I'm just gonna start sewing them on. Probably shouldn't be wasting the battery just sitting here sewing and not talking. All right, come on over. Come here. Try and see in this bleak darkness. I'm being very dramatic about not having power.
I normally try to show you only like the neatest sewing sections, but the thing is that I catch on pins and stuff and I get tangles and knots all the time. So I'm gonna include a bit more of that because I'm not very aesthetic and I'm not gonna pretend to be.
Okay, here's the deal. I'm gonna keep sewing and I'll let you know if anything interesting happens. Alf thinks that the neighbours being in their driveway is extremely interesting. This is where we're at. Same process as the arm, just much more fiddly. I will see you in a bit, hopefully with some power and warmth and probably some chocolate. Hello. Look, to be honest, not much progress has been made. The update is I got really sick of wearing my coat indoors, so I have transitioned to the hoodie. We still don't have power. It's still cold, but now I have some chocolate. I've been following Alf around the house for the last like 30 minutes, just putting a blanket on him wherever he sits down because it's so cold, but he keeps getting up. Peanut butter and chocolate is just, oh, amazing. Ow, stabbed myself. Oh my God, the power just turned on. I can put the heater back on. I turned the light on so that I would know. Well, also, the air conditioning made a lot of noise. Yeah.
To be honest, right after showing my face way too close up while I'm wearing pajamas and complaining about how cold my house is, probably isn't the best time to do a little plug for my channel, but if you are enjoying the video, I would appreciate it so much if you would give it a like, and while I totally get that this is basically white noise at this point, consider subscribing. Seriously though, I have a really exciting idea for a 5,000 subscribers sewing challenge, and I really want to make it. Okay, I'll stop now, don't worry, this makes me uncomfortable too, so at least you're not alone. Okay, bye, I love you. Oh, I guess I do try to be aesthetic sometimes. Sorry. Oh no, just being silly again. A few people on Instagram did recognize that it was a fake arm of some sort, but Pumpkin Fairy, this is for you.
It's a nice one. What a good boy. Yeah. Why don't I just have one of these? Oh, good job. Good morning. Seeing as what I now need to do is complete this process over again in reverse so that it's a right hand, I think today is going to be a bit of a sewing gremlin day. I don't know if I mentioned it, but Thomas has the week off work, so he is going to be making bread every day, which is nice.
Starting the week strong with some baguettes and a cob.
Also check out that mirror finish on that microwave. Nice. I am very excited to have just a cozy crafting day today. It's a Saturday, so, you know, we're still working, but we're gonna do it in a much more slovenly manner.
After a while, I moved to the couch because Saturday. But do you remember I mentioned I put sewing needles in my mouth? I bumped the needle into my tongue and then immediately put it back into my mouth.
So unfortunately yesterday ended up being a sick day. I was gonna say a bit of a sick day, but it was a sick day. I am a lifetime member of the Sore Tummy Gang, and yesterday was a particularly bad flare-up, so I didn't really do much other than lie on the couch. Don't worry, I was a massive sook about it. But while I was on the couch yesterday, I had a moment of just like why doesn't mine look like that? It's giving me Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas, which the original rabbit didn't. So I had another look at my reference image, and hers is color blocked. I have put on every resume I have ever had that I have high attention to detail, and I am now realizing that that might have been a lie. I don't want everyone who sees it to be like, oh, it's Sally, and I'm like, no, it's not, it's gonna be a weird rabbit. So on the second arm, I have started going around and covering it up. I know we said that we wouldn't be a perfectionist about this. I'm not gonna let the perfectionism get to me this time. I don't know. Why am I like this? I have the vision in my head, but the details are vague. And then I start making it and go, I don't know what the details were meant to be, but that's not it.
I don't know, is it really one of my projects if I don't take something and scrap it completely and start again? Also, if you hear clinking dishes in the background, that's because Thomas is making bread again.
Oh.
This one's a secret one.
Secret one?
Yeah, you'll find out once it's cooked.
What makes it, is there something in it?
Yeah.
Is it a hot dog?
No.
He made shokupan even though he can't eat it.
Oh my god. No, you made jam donut bread. My favourite thing ever. Thank you, goodbye.
Now that this arm's done, I'm gonna get started on the hand. Also, I have eaten so much bread. Hand time. Time to remember how I did the other hand. I like doing these transitions because you can't tell that I'm in my pajamas. 2 arms! It's been really relaxing to do, to be honest. I felt like it was a lot easier on the second round. Also, I figured out how thumbs work at one point, and I really like it. This is what I have so far. I want my iPad to fit in the bag. So, I don't know. I didn't really get past the thought of making the arms and then suddenly in my head it's a bag. Whoops. I don't know if that's accurate.
Now this is all a big mess. I scrapped the first pattern because I hadn't left enough curve for the zipper, and I landed on a design where the back panel was a different shape and size to the front panel, which I would not recommend. The side panels are angled. In true me fashion, this whole thing was needlessly overcomplicated. Now I'm cutting 2 of each of these on purpose because I want to have lining pieces.
All right, here are the pattern pieces so far. They're a bit haphazard. This is the very back where the iPad will fit. It'll be good, don't worry about it. This is the outer part of where the zipper will go on the back of the bag, the part that actually sits on my back. That's the inside of that part, so it's 1 centimeter wider on that side and 1 centimeter the other. Look, it makes sense when I sew it. And then also just like a side panel thing that's gonna kind of fit on the side of this, and I'm just gonna guess those bits that join it up. Look, there is a semblance of a system here. We just need a framework. We just need to get started with it. Also, I found this zipper. It's not the right color, but it's an invisible zipper and it's really long. So that is how we're going to do up the bag. It's gonna go like that. Just remembered I was gonna do a camera transition for cutting out that fabric, but just imagine it. So that will be the back of the backpack. Let's get to sewing. Not my best, but certainly not the worst. Now what?
Because it didn't occur to me to interface the bag pieces earlier, I had to interface the lining pieces, which is absolutely the wrong way around. I did at least have the forethought to leave the seam allowance uninterfaced, which did help when it was time to hand sew the lining in. Then I made a little phone pocket from the linen pillowcase so I wouldn't have to dig around inside the rabbit looking for it.
We have a pocket. Do you think I was not gonna do a pocket? Of course I'm gonna do a pocket. It's me. We need to have a pocket. So this is where we are at. We have the lining piece and that one is gonna go in here. So I will have to kind of fold this over tightly here and then kind of hand stitch it into the zipper part. And then I need to do the same for this part with its lining piece. I've also cut out some side pieces, but I also need to cut out a base and a top section. So this is where I start just completely guessing. We're gonna cut out some strips of fabric, hope for the best. These are all the sides. I could not figure out a way to show you that it would make sense. All right, look, it doesn't fit but whatever. I have put a pleat in there. Who cares? This is a messy bag. Doesn't matter.
Actually, that pleat did matter because it was on the larger side of the bag, which meant there was so much fabric on the smaller end when I did the lining. So much so that I had to take the lining apart and make it into darts instead, which makes a lot more sense than pleats. But this is what happens when I sew for 18 days straight. I make a lot of mistakes. Oh yeah, I also decided to make a pocket for the iPad because I wanted to be thorough, and we're just not going to talk about how that pocket ended up functionality-wise. The point is my intentions were good, and it looked pretty neat at this stage, right?
It's gonna make sense, I promise. Last night, I very haphazardly just cut out some scraps of the horsehair braid. It's used in traditional tailoring. It's what goes inside a lapel that is pad stitched to then make it fold outward nicely. And that's what I'm gonna attach all of the wool to build up his little belly and stuff. We're very floppy at the moment. Why didn't I reinforce these before I cut them out and sewed them? I don't know. I'm just gonna put some, brain, shut up. Just gonna have some more coffee. The brain fog might be due to the significant amount of bread I have eaten over the last week because Thomas's bread saga has continued.
It's not good. Don't worry, I put some chicken aside for you.
Ow, so stabby. Just stitching some rows into it to reinforce it.
Much better.
This whole bit here, all this pleating, let's not worry about that. We're just gonna stitch this down and then maybe it's sort of a backpack. Let's go. No, I can't do it. It's finally holding some sort of shape. It is exciting, although not as exciting as seeing Sandstorm played by an orchestra. Help me out, people. What part of it is the song that drops? I want to say bass.
No, you want to say beat.
No, don't correct me when I'm talking to my people. All right, let's turn it out the right way and see how bad it is. Not that bad. Not that bad. So it should be a little bit higher at the part that goes to your back and then it angles downwards. I'm getting concerned about at what point I should be putting the straps on. It feels like it shouldn't be the last thing I do because they should be able to hold some weight.
After pressing, I sewed all the way around the edge to kind of emulate piping because I realised that piping on the edges of backpacks is a thing, but not a thing I was willing to drive to the shop to purchase. I also cut some strips of the horsehair canvas, not horsehair braid, which I repeatedly call it during the video. I folded those over twice and stitched them into the other seam, again to emulate that piping vibe that I was going for. So the edge of the bag has a much nicer structure to it now. I have this big old pile of wool that I have just trimmed off so that we could start adding padding to this. So yeah, I'm just gonna start hand stitching it. Kind of feel like I said it like I had a plan and I don't have a plan. I'm sorry, I'm only just realizing now how much I wear my hoodie in this video.
All right, well, I'm gonna keep doing this and I guess I will check in with you in about 11 years. Not that I'm complaining, it doesn't get much more chill than this.
Do you know what? Can anyone suggest a good brand that has cute and cozy jumpers? Look, here's a shot of outside to show you how dark and cold it is. I don't own enough warm clothes. You saw me literally cut holes in one of my few long sleeve tops, hence wearing the hoodie every single day.
Oh, it looks much less cute when you put the arms on. Oh, but look at his little belly. Ha ha ha, very nice. So there's these kind of like little divots here on the sides where his legs are gonna go, and I want them to be shorter than the arms. Kind of creeps me out touching them. It's gonna be good.
Okay, so a little while ago, I told you that we are honest on this channel.
There we go. I don't know if you can see it, that's our leg shape.
So here it is. I didn't include it in the video because it makes it hella clunky, but for some reason I first tried wrapping the fabric around the armature wire until I remembered that I had a system that already worked really well. So I just used that armature wire as a pattern rather than the core, which I had intended to do. Also, making the tiny feet was really fun, but I have to warn you, we are heading into a roller coaster of emotions with how I feel about this project.
So here's where we're at. When I attach him, I am going to then bulk out this area here to kind of like blend it into the body better, but this is kind of like what we're working with as the base. If you take a little look at the footsies, we were so close to making something cute, but I'm gonna ruin it. Okay, like imagine it actually connecting properly. I'm gonna do it. This is the point of this project, okay? When there's an opportunity to make it bad, we make it worse. I might regret this and one day cut the toes off, but for now, we're having claw toesies. We just are. I can't tell you why, but that's what we're doing. Yes. This makes me very happy. I'm gonna do the second leg, I guess. Yeah, this is getting worse the more that I look at it. And The little tiny feet with the full human-sized hands are really upsetting. The turkey legs are upsetting. All the proportions for this are making me sad. I don't know if it's because I am tired or because I have been looking at this for too long, but I am beginning to think that I made a mistake. This possibly is something that should never have been made. Yeah, I think I hate it. Well, I'm gonna go to bed and hopefully I feel better about this in the morning. Yuck. Well, it's the morning and I don't feel any better about this. There's nothing I can do about it. These took so long to do. At the start, it was mostly a joke. The whole, this is gonna be bad and creepy. I kind of did, in my heart, think it was gonna be cute, but I don't think that anymore. I'm sorry, is all I'm gonna say. We're in this together at this stage. I don't like where this is going. You probably don't like where this is going, but I have to finish it.
I don't know if it was seeing the 2 feet together or the feet next to the hands that made me dislike it so much, but I hated it. Also, sewing the toe skin on was super fiddly as expected, but it is much easier just cutting pieces of fabric to fit rather than using the pattern that I had made for the hand.
Okay, I'm coming back around. I like him again. I might not when I put it next to the hands. Sorry, I think I'm gonna cry, it's so stupid. Please make something stupid and share it with me. Please make the dumbest thing you can think of and then message me on Instagram with it, okay? I would love that. I would love that so much. Back to making footsies. Also, I'm gonna have a day bath soon. I know I need to be working hard at this project, but I also need to take care of myself physically and mentally, and that's probably going to involve a day bath and going and buying a book later. Okay, feet time. Not good, not good.
Also, it turns out I have no idea where the bookshelf is. I'm completely lost. Really? I found it. Yes! Bleak. I already have 2 copies of this book, so I don't need to get that. Is sci-fi fantasy, or does it get its own section? Oh! I found it. Haha! There it is. Check it out. Look how thick that is. 5 books in 1. Done. I'm gonna get this one too. Oh, I'm so bad with money. Let's go.
I'm actually pretty frugal / stingy, but when I treat myself, I treat myself. And I do try to use my local library as much as possible, but that book is huge and it's gonna take me ages to read it. Also, speaking of the library, I went and picked up a book of weird short stories, and now I've distracted myself from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by reading that, so please don't ask me how Hitchhikers is going. Oh right, the claws that I'm making? I think it's best we don't speak about it.
So this is where we're at. He's got his horrible little socks on. And now it is time to attach limbs to the body. It looks like a Christmas turkey, and I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna fix that. All right, something's happened here. This leg I've managed to attach like right to the corner of the bag, and then on this side there's this whole thing here because the bag wasn't sitting straight. Oh no, what have I done? Now it looks more like a turkey. My brain can't process this. No. Yep, I don't know. I don't know why it's so twisted. He's doing his best, okay? That's so much better. Not a turkey anymore. I mean, it still kind of looks like a turkey, but it looks better. Look how sad this is. Ow. Oh. I think my fingers are becoming so callous that they don't even bleed. So that's looking better. I am gonna get started on putting the skin on, I think. God, it's upsetting to look at. Yeah, this is gonna take ages. I don't know if you can see what condition my finger is in from all the times it has been pricked. It's like somewhere in between I'm losing my feeling / it hurts a lot all the time.
Thomas, come here and give me your opinion, which I will then ignore. So this will be the body, right? These are our arms, legs. You with me so far?
Hang on. Slow down.
Back it up a second. All right, your options are pink belly, cartoony pink, or sad fleshy pink, but very soft. This makes me uncomfortable. I think we gotta go pink belly. We gotta make it cute.
Yes.
This color, unfortunately,
It's so bad.
I know, it keeps getting worse.
Yeah.
Part of me is like, oh, it might be cute.
It's not
gonna be cute.
No, it's gonna be terrible. But it's gonna be amazing.
We have a belly. The legs are still quite akimbo, so I'm going to attempt to stitch the legs kind of a little bit more closed. All right, okay, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hold him like this. It's a weird project. And stitch closed on this side a little bit more, and that will hopefully keep his leg in more. Kind of like I'm the person in the infomercial. There's gotta be a better way. So this morning when I walked into my studio, I forgot what I was working on and it was really dimly lit, and I opened the door and just saw a claw on the table and I was just like, ugh. And kind of spent the morning hating it. I was like, oh, this was a mistake. But then my parents came round for morning tea and my dad saw it and he loved it. He was like, this is great, look at the toes. And that made me feel a lot better about it. My stepmom was not a fan and I think that's completely fair. Well, basically the plan is I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna sew the brown sections on, and that's probably gonna take me most of the evening. And then other than that, Tom and I are having girl dinner.
Yes, girl dinner. How does it go, Thomas?
Girl dinner!
We have all of the skin on, yay. Got quite the little belly. We have arms, and they need to get attached to the torso, but it makes the arms stick out. I'm going to attempt to attach these. I quite like how the little legs jiggle. It's nice and soft at least. I will say the little bone things that I put inside, unsettling. You shouldn't squeeze it and feel the hard core like a bone. Good stuff.
I do like a camera transition, but I realized it might be helpful for you to know that I pinned it to the mannequin to fill in the shoulders. You know, for when you make one of these.
It's kind of upsetting without a head, no? Look at him. Look at him go. Also, you can kind of like hold it like a baby. Look, check it out. Except it hugs you back. Come on. look at its little feet. Let's get out of the sun. Let's go over there. This is so fun to play with. Also, I think my fingers might have calloused up because they're no longer hurting, but I am still stabbing them. So that's good. Oh. I did not know what shape a rabbit's head was. They're so cute, but their heads are a weird shape. I was picturing a dog head, that's why. I was straight up going to do a dog head with rabbit ears. Maybe I can just like fold this into like the right kind of shape. That's honestly not bad. We just have to create a shape and then from there we can try and fine tune it.
This was such a trust the process kind of moment because I had no alternative if this didn't work.
Maybe we make that the little chubby bit?
Oh yeah, and for a while I just kind of squeezed it to see if that would help. Sorry, I made myself laugh by how I said squeezed. Also, I made this little ridge part, which I actually don't think rabbits have. Oh, and then next I tried making chubby parts of the rabbit. You know this bit?
I think that's like about as good as I'm gonna get with a rabbit's head shape, so, you know, carry on, I guess. Oh, it's hot, I drank way too much of that. So if we do double layer of this, and then a layer of wool on top of that, then that should hold its shape pretty well.
At first I started sewing the wool to the horsehair canvas, then I realised I was double handling it and sewed the ear fabric straight on instead.
I know that I say this literally all the time, but this took so much longer than I expected. But, oh, so cute. We have our rabbit head, huh? Not bad. Happy with the size of the ears.
Oh, so fun story. I started sewing the backs of the ears on, but I burnt my fingers pretty bad while cooking dinner and it hurt too much to continue that night, so I finished them up the next morning.
Good morning. We have ears. We also have a problem. I should have put the straps on ages ago. They are meant to sit in the side seams. I realized this as I was lying in bed this morning. I also realized that I really need to put the straps on before I put the head on. So even though the ears are here and super cute and I really want to attach them to the head, we can't. So what I have is Thomas's backpack. This has really comfy straps. We're gonna trace them. And this backpack is done with these two D-loops, D-rings. Oh my God, do I have D-rings that size? Let me just go check. We'll use O-rings. Yes. This one, it's got that nice strap there that holds all of this in. And then you look at my one, I didn't leave enough room for anything, especially down here. So probably gonna have to attach the straps like into this bit here and here. All right, so this is the webbing from Tom's backpack. This is my webbing. It is quite a bit thicker. And if you have a look, that one's not gonna work at all. And even this one it's a little bit tight, but we're gonna make that work. That's gonna be the one. Excellent, I didn't wanna use brass anyway. Can I just say, can't believe it didn't occur to me before I started my backpack to look at a backpack. I didn't look at any. I just went, I can make a backpack and then just based that entirely on memory.
All I did here was trace the straps in the bedsheet fabric as well as the horsehair canvas, and I made some bias binding. Also, I accidentally stabbed the blister with the needle about 2 days after I burnt my fingers. Okay, I have my strap sections. We've got a front and a back and then a horsehair piece. And my plan is basically to cut out some strips of wool from here, attach them onto the horsehair braid, and then I'm going to sandwich all of that between the two pieces of the outer fabric, grab my bias binding and just go all the way around the edge. And it should be fairly simple and probably pretty boring to watch. So yeah, okay, look, not the best. The backside is worse than the front. We've got some hand stitching there. Don't worry about it. The front is, okay, well this one's better than this one. I don't really know what happened here. I think it's because I cut this on the bias here. This is all one continuous piece and it really shouldn't have been. The original backpack, that one over there. These are two separate pieces and I think that that is to keep it on the grain. I don't really mind it. I consider it to be a design feature that fits with the whole rest of this sad little lump of rabbit here that the camera is refusing to focus on. There it is. Also, Alf stepped on his foot, looked like he broke his fingers, but he's fine. This has to live on the table now because Alf keeps thinking that it's a toy for him and he keeps attacking it. Oh, and yes, I stabbed under my fingernail and it's bleeding again. All good though, didn't get any on the bag. Oh my God. I was just doing some ironing and I was just reading the side of the iron. If you have seen my previous sewing videos, I have a really, really bad habit of leaving the iron on and also like leaving the house and then being panicked that I've left the iron on and then coming back just to turn the iron off. What does that say? What does this say? Right here, auto off, auto off. What? This is an iron that has an auto off function? I just thought it beeped at you incessantly and would never stop. I can't believe I've had an auto off iron this entire time. Next, we're gonna make a little pink handle to go at the top. There it is. All I did was fold this over a couple of times with the interfacing and the horsehair braid and it just auto-focused on this. It thinks this is a person. Look at that, it's winking. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Folded it over a couple of times, turn it down the middle, and that will go in between the two straps to be the handle. If you could focus, please focus. Handle, like that, yeah. All right, now because I left such a small amount of space here, this is gonna be pretty messy, but well, part of this project hasn't been messy. Ah, I dropped a pin. Huh. That like makes it look like a backpack. That's exciting. I'm going to attempt to machine sew this. This is going to be very awkward. Oh no. Like using all of my shoulder strength to do this. All right, we've got those raw edges covered up with a bit of fabric here so that it's not so messy. Unfortunately, I did this one correctly where it's nice and smooth and it's just got the machine stitching there. And then on this one, for some reason, I didn't do that. And look, I'm too over it to do that again. So let's get the webbing done. We got these little loops, very hard to see, but they are there. And I don't think there's anything else I can do except for just stitch it along here. And then I'm just gonna have to cover it with a patch of the fabric. And then that's gonna be the straps mercifully done. Slap, slap, slap. I didn't mean to do that, but that's where my hand ended up. Let's go. I get like this, sorry. I get like this when it's getting close to the end, but like straps, head, lining, done. It's still like 3 or 4 days worth of work, but we're getting there. Back to the head. Just to round out the how much I hurt my fingers while making this project saga, the finger on my right hand that pushes the needle through developed at first a little hole that turned into a pocket that the needle was catching in. I know, I'm sorry, it's pretty gross, but it gets worse because I put a band-aid on it to protect it. I think you see it in some of the late close-ups, but the band-aid was waterproof, and at some point I got water inside it and didn't notice for at least a few hours. So when I took the band-aid off, my finger was completely white and wrinkled. I took a photo, but honestly, it's too gross to include in the video. We're looking at a nice sewing sequence at the moment, and I don't want to ruin it any more than I already have with this story.
We have a rabbit head, but I have a surprise for you. I got hyper-realistic eyes. Let's bring him to life. I almost feel like no eyes is scarier, but I bought them, so. Look how derpy it is. It's really bad. It's the worst thing I've ever made. So let's continue down the path and try and put eyelids on him. Oh, that's actually perfect. Look at the difference. Terrified, sinister, also a little bit sultry, right? Okay, this is actually feeling like I got 99 problems and this rabbit's eyelids have fixed 98 of them. Worlds better. All right, I'm gonna do my best to stitch that in place. So close. Our backpack, we have our lining, we have our general mess. All I'm gonna do is attempt to shove this in here, and attempt is the word because it is smushy. I think it's just gonna have to get proper shoved.
So one of my business ideas that never got off the ground was upcycling clothes, and due to my being me, I ordered labels for it. The good news is that the logo I designed ended up being used as my watermark for the channel, so I sewed one of the labels into the bag.
That was 18 days straight of making something that really creeped me out. The channel turned 1 year old, and so I thought, what better time than now to do a giveaway. This is one of the only things that I have made that wasn't like specifically built to my measurements. I have put a Google form in the description. I will leave the Google form open until the 24th of August. We will draw a winner at random and I will post this cursed backpack to you wherever you are in the world. Look, not many people are gonna want this. So if you do want it, you have a very good chance of getting it. I will say it's pretty good as a pillow. So, you know, if you need a new pillow that has arms and could hug you. So yeah, don't forget to enter the giveaway to win the worst backpack ever made. That's at least something, you know? I've never been the best at anything, but I could be the worst.
Like a baby. You have to enrich your children with books. Never speak to me or my son again.